Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Storm Collectibles Street Fighter V Arcade Edition Classic AKUMA, aka Gouki, depending on which version of the package you got based on where you purchased the figure. That is his name for those of you that don't know. It's originally Gouki, but in the US we call him AKUMA or AKUMA. Same character, same figure, just slightly different packaging. And this is basically the same figure as the Shin AKUMA that we reviewed from San Diego Comic-Con, and it's better. I mean, objectively speaking, the color scheme works a little bit nicer on the figure, but subjectively it all depends on which one you prefer. But otherwise it's the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 20.5 centimeters to the top of his head, not counting the top part of the hair, which takes it up to about 22. And that's going to make him just about 8 inches, and then about 8 and 5/8. So he's got some size to him for sure. You'll see at the end he's got a significant size advantage over someone like Ryu. Which is that how it is in the games now? I haven't paid that much attention since I don't have a PlayStation. He didn't used to be that much bigger, but apparently now he is. But either way, I like it. I like him being bigger. It makes sense. And maybe it's just because of the Kuma Mufasa figure is a lot bigger. And this does use a few of the parts, not all of them. It does have some new parts, notably the gi and the chest. I know the legs are reused. I think I remember the arms being reused from the last review, but I can't remember for sure. But some of the parts are reused, some are not, so that's okay. And this guy just looks really, really, really nice. I will note it's not perfectly accurate. If you look at the head sculpt on the original model, it's a lot wider, and the hair kind of flares out a lot more. This has more of a normal human look to it, which, it's like I said, it's obviously not very accurate, but it still looks good. It's not like one of those inaccuracy issues where it looks like butts. It still looks awesome, so I can live with it. If you can, that's up to you, but I still think it looks really good. I would definitely prefer it to have that really broad forehead like it does in the game, but this is fine. And as far as the colors go, I like them a lot. We have this kind of saturated dark blue with the lighter blue dry brushing on top to give it this worn look. It's very appealing. It looks really, really nice. The gloves have the darker kind of dull red with a little bit of dry brushing on top, so that's nice. And then we have the black belt with the gray. That looks really good. The sandals are just dark brown. And then the skin has that slightly orangish tinge to it. No veins on this version like the Shin AKUMA, so that's okay. The hair is a nice bright red now, and it does have a wash on it, so that's nice. And then the face has obviously the black eyes. The sclera part of the eye is black, and the rest of the eye is yellow and red. Maybe a little bit more yellow than it needs to have to be accurate, but it still looks good. Painted the lips. And then, of course, you can get the detail on the necklace. Hopefully that's picking up on camera. The red doesn't stand out too much from the brown beads, but the logo, the kanji on there, still looks really good in person, so that's nice. As far as accessories go, they're all the same as the other AKUMA figure, the Shin AKUMA version, but we'll go through it anyway. We have 3 different heads. We have the neutral head that comes on him in the package, the angry teeth-gritted head, and then the angry yelling head with the open mouth. We have a bunch of different hands. We have the 2 fist hands that come on him in the package, 2 different sets of open hands for different style poses, and then 2 kind of karate chop style hands. We do get the fire that goes on his arms, 1 for either side, very nicely done in translucent yellow with some orange shading. We do have his fireball and a display stand for it. The fireball is again very nicely done in yellow with some orange shading. And then lastly, we have his alternate gi with the kanji on the back with the glowing red, and it looks pretty good, though the gi may need a little bit of hairdryer action because, like mine, it was folded up funny in the box, so it's kind of got a crease in it, but still a very nice accessory to have nonetheless. No more display stands for these guys, which I'm personally okay with. They're a little bit too big anyway. They take up a lot of space, so I'm okay with that. So yeah, guy looks really good. Let's go over the articulation. We have the double ball peg for the neck, so you can actually move the head around at the lower ball peg to actually lean the neck. Then you can move the head around on top of the top ball peg, and you can really get some nice poses out of it. I like to pull the heads up just a little bit to give them a little bit of a longer neck, but you can definitely seat that down there and give them that really stumpy neck if you want. That's up to you. I feel like the necks are definitely a little bit too stumpy without pulling the heads up a little bit. You can see he's got virtually no neck there. So just give it a little wiggle, give it a little tug, and there you go. Just about perfect. Love it. And you still don't have too much gapping really, so it's not a problem. Shoulders, we still have that ball peg that connects the shoulder to the body. Really good range there. We have the ball hinge for the shoulder. Not quite horizontal out of that, but with that ball peg, you can get it up there pretty close. It'll be okay. This is just a floating piece to hide the articulation. Really no problems at all. Good thickness to that ball peg. You're not going to feel, it doesn't feel loose, but you're not going to feel too much resistance either. So Pretty good for the shoulders all around. The bicep swivel's fine. No problems there. Double jointed elbow, just about 90 degrees because he's so girthy. And then we have the straight peg. No, we have ball peg, ball hinge, straight peg combination for the wrist. So you can really move those hands around a good deal. And this is just a floating piece that will hide all of that. Mostly anyway, so that's pretty good. Now for the torso, we have the ball peg for the upper torso that lets him lean back. And he does lean back quite far, and it lets him lean forward. Not super far, but it does lean. And then side to side, of course, too. But you know what? Let me just show you how it looks without the gi, so you can see that, and I can show you the articulation a little bit better. Just want to pop off the top of the belt, the first belt piece, the second belt piece, bring the arms back a little bit, and voila, the gi comes right off. Uh-oh, mine's got some blue on his abdomen. I think it'll come right off, though. I think that's a little bit of the grease from the production. Let's see. No, this one has a little bit of blue. That wasn't an issue on the Shin AKUMA, so that's probably just a fluke. But either way, you can see the articulation now. So we have the ball peg for the torso. Side to side. Not the best range, but you do get this ball peg down here, which gives you really good range, which is awesome. Uh-oh, there's blue down here too. I think the grease that keeps everything working properly has leached some of the blue onto the skin. That's probably just a fluke on mine. Rotation, leaning side to side. It is a little bitey, but it's not particularly stiff, so I think that'll be okay. And then for the hips, you can see we do have the new types of hips with the hinge in there, so you can bring them out to the side pretty much all the way. That's really good. And all the way forward. Floating crotch piece is really soft, doesn't get in the way. Pretty much, well, not all the way back, but pretty good range going backwards. Thigh swivel's in there. Double jointed knee is in there. And then we do have a shin swivel where the leg meets the pants. And then for the ankle, we have our hinge, which goes pretty far back, not too far forward. We do get a little bit of an ankle rocker out of it, but it's at a weird angle. So what you're going to really have to do is rotate that and use the ankle rocker to give yourself the ankle range that you need. It's still a little bit awkward due to the actual angle of it, but it does work out well enough. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And then you do have a toe hinge, which does help, and his sandals are actually real separate piece of material. So all around, it's a pretty solid figure. I don't like that I have the blue on there, but since the one with the black gi didn't have that problem, I'm guessing that's not going to be a universal issue. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, especially since you're probably going to want to keep his clothes on anyways, you perverts. And I think that'll be okay. But yeah, I really like this one. This one is definitely my favorite of the two, but obviously the first one was really good. This one's really good too. No real complaints there. I like it. I'm pleased with it. I think you guys will be too. So there it is, guys. If you haven't subscribed, I do have new videos up almost every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.